Apparently 97 minutes wasn't long enough. Part 2 of the magic of Disney cruising. Plus, we light things up with this week's hot takes. I love it when we're cruising together. Let's bring back the magic.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.
Oh yeah, welcome to another fabulous episode of Bring Back the Magic. This episode brought to you by Theme Park Chuckle. Go on themeparkchuckle.com and get yourself a funny Disney-based t-shirt or two, just like the Typhoon Lagoonies. Hey you guys! Never say die, Goonies. Never say die. Yeah, that's a bad word. But anyway, go to Theme Park Chuckle. Spend some money. Sports podcast. All right, cool. Woo-wee! All right, welcome back. I am one of your hosts. I am Josh.
And I'm his sister Gina. And for those of you just joining us, welcome aboard. Please make sure to hit the subscribe and notification if you are watching on YouTube. Hit a follow if you're listening on Spotify. Also, please remember not to miss a minute of the magic by following us on all social media. We are on Instagram and TikTok primarily, also Facebook. And we are at BBT Magic Podcast and would love to have you along for the extras that we do in between shows.
Well done. That was a dynamite intro by my friend, I guess, the illegitimate child of Gilligan and Elton John. You also look like a weird version of Hunter S. Thompson from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
That's what I was going for, Joshua. That's the look I was going. Just kidding.
This is Mouse Country.
Should I take my shades
off? All right,
off?
so have fun with all the drugs over there.
Should I take my shades off or leave them on this
Probably take them off because that ring light's really bothering me.
All right.
So this is actually a part 2 to an episode, okay?
Yeah.
Part 2 of the Magic of Disney Cruises. So before we get into all that, let's enjoy some small talk with each other. What's going down, Gina? What's happening? What's the news that's
first and foremost, I don't want to get ahead of myself with hot takes, so I'm not going to jump into that.
Yeah, let's not.
But I am very excited that we got such a great response on that Disney Cruise episode that even after 97 minutes, we needed a second episode. I mean, we knew going into it, it was going to be hard to like contain ourselves. Yeah. But I feel
100%.
like I got so many messages from people saying either you made me want to book another Disney cruise or you've convinced me to go on a Disney cruise now. So Disney, if you're listening, where's our free cruise?
I also was driven to the fact of like searching up Disney cruises. I'm like, yeah. And then I looked at my bank account and I was like, oh, they don't accept good intentions.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be
Also,
me.
did we remind everybody it's TV-14 just in case? I feel like.
Did we remind everybody or did Josh remind? And just to remind everyone, this episode's rated TV-14. So any younger viewers have your parents' permission before watching.
And based on
Thanks,
that,
Gina. I had one job to do. I forgot
well, I'm now nervous to say
just-
the next thing that was going to come out of my mouth because it also requires. There's a fly in my face to you to have something queued up on the board that I told you about because we're celebrating a milestone in
Just say it.
the podcast. We have reached our 20th episode here.
Yay!
Hallelujah! 20
Confetti.
episodes. Yes,
Yeah, that's
very
amazing.
exciting for those of
It's
you.
been a journey. You know what?
Yes.
Confetti twice. Woo! Yes! We got the golden buzzer.
The magic you miss.
You
of
could be the
psychic.
golden buzzard. Because you're old. Because you're old.
I love that the clip I did that I did one recently, if you guys follow us on socials, that was like, what kind of show is Bring Back the Magic podcast? And it's literally just clips of Josh and I laughing. Essentially, there's nothing Disney in it.
There's not a thing in there.
There's nothing in there.
I think I threatened to fight you at one
I
point.
know.
I
It's so
funny
funny because
that.
there's literally nothing in there that's like quality, like Disney information, the entire thing. Because I'm like, if you're following a Disney podcast, you got to assume that something Disney is in there. That's a given. I just want people to know how much fun we have on here and how much fun we have with all of you guys. So
That's
thank you.
too funny, though.
For being aboard our crazy train. Yeah.
That is just too funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as far as Disney stuff goes, in the news lately, okay, you're seeing some different stuff. Actually, as we record this podcast, they announced that they're redoing Star Wars Launch Bay and doing in
That whole
the
animation
Magic
courtyard.
of Disney and animation. That welcome change.
Confetti!
Okay?
Just kidding.
Don't say the confetti. I don't have it queued up. Shh.
Dang.
She doesn't know the magic of production.
I don't.
Or
It's
the
not my
lack thereof.
thing.
It's hard. You know what? I will say one thing. When you're running a board and trying to do this stuff at the same time,
Yeah.
not the easiest thing in the world. Shout out to my buddy Johnny, who used to work for me back in the day, who was incredible as a production manager.
I thought you were going to say, shout out to me. Like to yourself.
Also to myself, too. I'll give myself credit.
Shout out to John.
But he would have things on lockdown.
Yeah.
'Cause he was like, do.
Yeah.
You could say something, you just made the magic
It is
happen.
hard.
God bless him. I love him.
But you do all that, and I tell you all the time, for all the credit you give me about the social media, I always say, I look at that board that you have in front of you, and I'm like, that looks daunting. I have no idea how to do any of that.
Yeah,
so,
chances are I'll get something wrong. You know what? We might not even be recording
I
right now.
think-
Who knows? We could be talking to dead air. Something goes wrong. Like, oh, yeah, forgot to press play.
yeah, that's also a possibility.
Anyway,
But
this celebration to me.
right, but we're saying about Animation Courtyard, and I agree. That is... That is exciting news about
give away
Animation
my
Courtyard.
song.
Because to be fair, let's talk about it. Hollywood Studios, which is still very poorly named, that's just stupid. It's nothing like Hollywood about it. It should have either been named
They've
Disney.
got Indiana Jones.
They should have either named it just Disney Studios because it's Disney-owned IPs at this point, or Star Wars Studios because every section of that park has something Star Wars. It's Star Tours is outside of Batuu,
Welcome to
and
the
then they
place
had
that
Launch
you walk
Bay.
through to get to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, but it's scattered Star Wars all over the park. So finally,
Not
taking
anymore.
out Launch Bay will now.
They had 3 points of the park. Now they've got Dose because it'll just be Star Tours and then Galaxy's Edge because
Right.
Launch Bay will be going.
Right,
Which I
that's
feel
what
like
I mean.
makes more sense because I'm like,
Yeah.
honestly,
I don't think
there
anybody.
was things I had a problem with in the Launch Bay stuff when you had the meet and greet stuff, whether it was like a Kylo Ren or Darth Vader kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
More, I think it was the Kylo Ren one where it was like they were trying to be mean to you. I was like, and it didn't appeal to kids because you're like, kids are already scared to go up to characters, so you really don't want to make that happen.
Yeah,
so I had my feelings on that.
I've mentioned on the podcast before, though, I really miss. No shock because I miss everything from MGM, but I miss the OG Animation Courtyard where it was the animation tour,
when you
but
go through the
also
animation tour,
the
yeah.
soundstage restaurant, restaurant that only changed themes, I think, 2, maybe 3 times as far as it was supposed to be sound stages based on different movies. And it was Big Business was the first one. And then
Yeah.
it went to Aladdin and
then
it just
it
kind of
closed.
became an Aladdin restaurant. Yeah. And then it became like Bear the Big Blue House and then Disney Junior Playhouse. And I know there are some people I saw in the comments that are disappointed because they have kids or plan to have kids and they thought that Disney Junior show was fun for them. I took my son several times when he was little. It was fun. But I'm hoping that this is something, and
Yeah.
it sounds like, that will be equally, if not
Like
more
a play
appealing
area,
to
I think
small
they said
kids.
something like that. So that's
Yeah.
going to be.
I would have
that's gonna
loved it to
fun.
be another super themed restaurant, though, I will say.
I feel like they need some more restaurants in,
do.
in Hollywood studios.
As
But
we're
they got
lost
some good
too.
ones. Like I like Mama Melrose's. It was okay enough. Just mainly, I think I liked it more for the memories we shared there from
agree.
that
I
one
agree.
epic night at park closing,
Yeah,
and they were
I
already out. And
agree.
like, everybody was there. We told that story before, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just like that's a great memory for me. And much like all my memories, they will be reduced to rubble at some point. And Disney killed
sad.
them. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so sad.
All things I love. I love Horizons. Guess what closed, Josh?
Yeah.
I love Mama Melrose's. Well, that ain't here
But guess
anymore.
what? We hate Mission
I
Space,
finally
and it
found
will
something
live forever.
I finally found something I could eat at the Rat Pizza place at Pizza Rizzo's, and I'm like, oh, I love the antipasta. Guess what? We're taking out, Josh. Damn it.
And it's a whole nother show regarding, I mean, we haven't done our Love to Ride, Let It Die of any other park of the Magic Kingdom so far.
Yeah.
But I do think when it comes to Hollywood Studios, like there's just such an entire episode awaiting regarding Disney downgrades, what's an upgrade, the theming that is so not apparent in that park. It's kind of just
Yeah.
like, that feels like a classic amusement park. Like
Yeah.
this is just, we stuck, there's no real and it makes me sad because it used to be my favorite when it was MGM. It really was something cool. But, you know.
Well,
it's changed.
here's.
Speaking of things that aren't cool.
All right, well, let's get into our hot takes. Sizzling.
Takes. I forgot my marshmallow.
Well, it's a rager. It's out of control.
Chicken parm, chicken parm, chicken parm.
Well, chicken parm's gonna be burnt with that many flames. That's how you cook. Chicken parm's also not.
Hibachi.
Okay, so I will lead off because I'm pretty sure yours is going to send some ripples throughout the internet, if you haven't already. My hot take is the OG Tower of Terror is the best version of Tower of Terror.
I've heard you say that, and I don't think you're wrong.
And I will say with the new version of Tower of Terror, with the drops and multiple ones where you feel like you're on a bungee cord, Mission Breakout in Disneyland is a better ride for it. I feel like as much as I love the the aesthetic of Tower of Terror, I think it's amazing. When you go in there, you've got everything, all the attention to detail, everything else you look through, even when you look at the little things to take the stairs. You know, if you look at the little board.
I haven't been on it. I'm dying to. Hopefully we'll get to Disneyland in the next year together.
I'm talking about just the OG regular tower.
Sorry.
So
I wasn't listening. Just
when I also feel like, you know, they have that fake restaurant at the bottom of Tower of Terror. Like when you get off the ride, if you go by it, I forget what it's called. Like somebody pop in the comments. But it's like a thing that has the menu and everything there. It'd be cool if they actually had a restaurant.
That would be great.
Right
They've got to
there.
have the space.
That's
for
kind
it.
of like that might be a wet spaghetti moment at some point. But yeah, so like that's cool. But I love the attention to detail and I love the aesthetic. But I feel like for the ride itself, Mission Breakout, because it's like you got Rocket Raccoon going out there and doing some stuff, wreaking havoc. You got stuff through the collector's showcase I mentioned before.
So you're
with a
saying the
friend.
multiple drops go better with the Mission
Yeah, because
Breakout.
you're actually.
I agree with
if
that.
you haven't been on it, there's actually when you're dropping, there's a movie screen in front of you. So you got stuff where you're looking out and everything, but you also got a movie screen that coincides where you see the Guardians fighting. You know, and doing this whole thing, and like the drops make you feel like you're in that fight scene.
Yeah,
more,
I'm really anxious
more
to
so,
try
and
that.
the soundtrack better, obviously, all that kind of stuff. But it's neat, and
Yeah.
I think that's my hot take. I feel like more than anything, the OG Tower of Terror is the best version because it gave you a one solid drop to
like test track.
like boom, and then solid drop to the bottom, and that was enough to put your like stomach in your throat, and I loved it. Now it just feels like you never get the big drop. I always feel like I get like a half a drop and it just pulls you up. And then I'm like, oh, this is not the same kind of
I agree with you on this one because as much as when I was younger, I was excited, like, ooh, it's like that thrill. It does kind of take away from the thrill of like the storyline because it is where you'd be like, you'd see that wall in front of you, like, and it would drop down and then you'd go up to the top and you'd stare out and it'd go drop a little bit all the way down. And and it just felt so exciting because it felt like it fit in with the story. The up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah, that's exciting if you're looking for that bungee effect, like you said.
Have I told the story on the Tower of Terror? What happened to me?
I don't know.
I don't
Tell
think
it again,
I've done
just in
that on
case.
the
For those of you
podcast.
just joining us, here's a story just in case.
Yeah, let's look at let's take it back. Picture it.
Hollywood.
Picture it.
19
Disney.
Hollywood.
2000, early 2000s, whatever. I don't know dates. I can barely remember my name half the time.
Right.
So I'm on there with my daughter, and she was pin collecting.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You haven't told this on the podcast.
And you have the seats. And the seats are kind of hard in there where you've got like the bench kind of things and everything. She had those pins on and everything with a lanyard. And let's just say the Disney backings to these pins aren't the best. As we're at the top of this drop, somehow or another, a pin becomes dislodged from said lanyard and squirts its way down onto the seats.
Squirts.
And if you've been, yes, squirts, whatever, I don't know. There's a better word for it. Goes careening off of her, off her lanyard. So shoots off, whatever, pops off, whatever adjective you want to put, onto the seat.
It's a verb.
And as I lift off the seat for the drop and come back down, everyone thinks I'm screaming because I was scared of the drop. No, as I yell out enthusiastically and somewhat in terror, I sat on your pin and I have to, like, literally, like, take it out of my butt cheek.
No bueno.
And everybody, and you know how concerned Disney people are on the ride? Not very. They're just there for the humor and at my expense. Because everybody on the entire elevator car is laughing at me, including my daughter and everybody else that's with us. And I go,
Yeah.
not my favorite ride on Tower of Terror, but that did happen. True story. It was awful.
Yeah.
So, Gina, what is your hot tamale take?
Okay. If you follow us on social, you have seen me allude to this in depth. My hot take is I am severely disappointed by Disney Starlight. And before you come at me, hear out my reasons first. To be fair, yes, I've only seen it on POV. That is true.
It's amazing to be disappointed by something you've never been to.
Just hear me out, though. Be fair. Hear me out.
Okay.
First of all, it seems very short. It's 9 floats. It seems very short. It gives more cavalcade vibes, which Mish, who is one of our followers, agreed with me on that on our social, that it gives, or she actually was the one that first used that expression, but it feels like a cavalcade. If you took those floats and had them be daytime floats, I really wouldn't have a problem with them. If that was a cavalcade, I wouldn't have a problem with it. It looks like a cavalcade that you stuck lights on. just because something is new doesn't mean it's good. Just because you waited 9 years for it and finally got it doesn't mean it's good. If anything, it has a higher standard because you've waited that long. I will also say, just because it lights up doesn't mean it's good. Just because it's pretty doesn't mean it's good. It's not good. Look back. I challenge you all. Watch Main Street Electrical Parade on YouTube. Watch Spectrum Magic. Watch Paint the Night. Watch, if you really want to make yourself depressed, watch Dream Lights from Tokyo and see what they have. But there was
You could say anything like that, though, about Tokyo.
But I'm saying, that's why I said, if you really want to make yourself depressed, we know we're not going to get what they get. But these local parades, including, when did Main Street Electrical Parade come out? I think it was something like 1978 or something that debuted. How, in 2025, are we going backwards in magic? It's another example of it. And I said, first and foremost, I don't like personally the decision to make all these floats this bluish color. I get it was like their theme of Starlight, but I feel like it detracts from the details of the float. Like, yes, there are some other colors, but I feel like, especially that last train float, it looks cute. But then when you're looking at the little aspects of like, Jasmine and Aladdin on the little carpet and Snow White and Dopey in the little mine car and Rapunzel and Flynn in the little boat, it kind of doesn't let them stand out enough. The color, I know it does change colors and everything. I think a lot of the lights look very sloppy on it. I think at times they look like someone strung Christmas lights on there. There are also parts it looks cheap. I'm sorry guys. It looks cheap. I do not understand what's supposed to be so amazing about in the Blue Fairy float, where it illuminates and there's Geppetto and the Pinocchio inside. It's a big seam down the middle of the plexi, but also it looks like they're in a cage. Like, it looks kind of morbid, like they're in some kind of prison. It doesn't give off magic. And if this is supposed to be like Wish Upon a Star, I didn't get that. And the biggest issue I have with it is the fact that the streetmosphere is very lacking. Any other parade, there's all these people, there's extra little cars driving around, there's little things. It's just magic coming down the street and it feels grand and exciting. You're all going to be mad at me who love this parade, but it gave me high school homecoming parade vibes. Pretty lights, yes, but don't let that blind you into thinking that this was an upgrade. It was not an upgrade. Now the good news is they could do something to enhance it by putting more on the ground. But a couple people with butterflies on their heads, a couple people with diamond shape looking like Sims walking around with
their sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their freaking heads.
Some parade floats, there's nothing even in between. They have Tinkerbell who flies walking around on the ground. She's like, "Hey guys," and you're like, "That seems weird."
All due respect, I mean, she's got to walk sometime.
I understand that, but I'm saying it's just all together.
Maybe she's got gout. She needs to work it out.
And the dancing people that they have out there dancing, their costumes, while you see them in a video and they talk about the details, up close, sure, that might be amazing, but it doesn't translate from afar. So to me, I put this in the category that I put enchantment, which was we lost Happily Ever After, which made us feel such emotion. And then you got enchantment and you were like, I mean, fireworks are pretty, projections are pretty, but I don't feel anything when I'm watching this show. And I feel that about this. I didn't feel anything. I felt excited for the idea of a new nighttime parade, but it strolled down and I thought, I feel no emotion. Of the 9 floats, I think 4 of them were decent. I think they were trying to push a lot of new like movies. And okay, just take the Coco float. That Coco float, the Alebrije, should have been lighting up, not just lit colors. Dante's like, just kind of sitting there doing nothing.
He kind of does look like that anyway.
But I'm just sitting, like, there's no motion to it. I feel like they should have had Alebrijes all as the streetmosphere people all going around.
We'll write this down. More emotion to my floats.
I told you, it's a glorious 3-hour rant.
Eflotion. Yes, eflotion.
I said, I wanted to love it, guys. I've been counting down for this parade to get here. I wanted to love it. My son in his lifetime has not witnessed a Disney nighttime parade. I was so excited for it. And now I'm so excited to go ride all the rides while
Have you ever thought about the, if it ain't broke, don't fix it scenario things? So I'll bring it back to this. So you're talking about nighttime parades. Why did Main Street Electrical Parade ever leave? Why did Spectrum Magic ever leave? They were actually pretty high up on the list.
Why did we go 9 years without
But what hasn't left? The water pageant.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being any different from when I was young.
No, and I still love it just as much.
Yeah, you hear
I
that.
still love it just. I remember when they added the flags. I feel like that flag part wasn't there when we were little. I feel like it ended.
All right, I'm gonna need you not to step on my points. When I say something hasn't changed, I'm gonna need you to just go with it in the spirit of unity.
And
by the way, also for the sake of saving some fan base that we may have, I'm reserving judgment on this parade till I see it.
I am just praying that Disney understands that they could do something to fix it. It's still not going to hit the level. But go back. Challenge you all. Go back and watch the other ones and tell me this lives up to what those other parades
Remember we were saying
gave
about
you.
the magic of Disney, though?
Yeah.
Everything is it's not so much what it is where you are. Okay, so if you did something here, it might not have the same effect as if you did it in Disney World. Okay, so watching that parade, you're at home sitting there. You don't feel very Disney-like at home. But when you're in Disney, maybe you're surrounded by the magic and there's other things that add to it. The park smells, maybe the good smells, not the person next to you with BO. But like all this stuff, maybe it makes you feel a little different when you're in there. I know you'll still you'll have the same complaints about it, but maybe not so much once you're there. I don't think that face is convincing of anything other than...
In conclusion of my
I feel
glorious
like somebody's case closed, gavel down.
My 3-hour finale conclusion.
Hold on. I'm sorry, we're being played off now because this is taking too
Again, I wanted to love it, guys. There's nothing I hate more than not liking something Disney does because I want to be a diehard and love everything. But much like with Enchantment, if people don't speak up about when they're disappointed, you're going to be stuck with that forever. Because what happened with Enchantment? What happened with when they first released the new Journey into Imagination? It closed after 2 years and they revised it. So if you guys really think this is at the level...
You're telling me if I still complain about Mission Space, eventually it'll be something better?
It will.
I will continue. And I will create a petition. Everybody can sign.
It breaks my heart, guys.
Anything.
I was so excited for this.
Told you, make it a bathroom. I don't care.
Again, the floats, all right, even if you leave the floats exactly the same, put some more on the street. It's just lacking there. It's severely lacking. And I told you, watch them back to back on YouTube and just tell me that I'm wrong. That's fine.
Welcome to our episode. What Gina doesn't like about the Starlight Parade. We'll see you next time. Please watch your head and
I
step.
will tell you, I'm not the only one that feels this way. A lot of people, including people that were there, have agreed with me. And
I feel like there's always going to, you can't please everybody, but I feel like they didn't try to this time. No. But all right, so let's get into it. Okay. This is the part do of the magic of Disney cruises. And the fact we couldn't fit everything into 97 minutes, mainly because we did what we just did. We're about 20 some minutes into the podcast. We haven't even talked about the topic yet. And that's what we do, guys. You've been here long enough. This is our 20th episode. Yes, we're almost able to drink in the amount of episodes we've done. But let's face it, we're us, and we would have drank well before this anyway.
To be fair, again, we don't drink on the podcast. We've only
one of the things we were saying, because we didn't cover everything. There's a ton to Disney cruises that we could have gone over that we just didn't. There's probably things we'll go over again, because let's face it, I'm not going to remember what I talked about in the first episode. So there might be some repeats. But Gina actually had a good point, and when she took to social media, she asked some people out there, what did you want to know about the cruises? And you came up with a few things.
Yes, we had several of you. Thank you very much for engaging on that post and letting us know.
Alien Goblin number 43 sent in.
One of the questions that we got was, can you use your annual pass for a discount on a Disney cruise? And the answer is no. The only thing you're going to get is I think it's DVC and Disney card holders can get merchandise discounts in the shop.
Now, keep in mind one thing, because we said this, I think maybe we covered in our last one, the Disney Plus subscription. They did run a special one time. We didn't know it was the week we were on there, that they gave kids sailed free.
Yeah.
If you were a Disney Plus subscriber, which is huge. I mean, the first two guests in the cabin are the majority of the cost. But still, if you're saving $900 for each of your kids that are on there or whatever, it's probably about $1,000. I would say some. Don't quote me on it. And by the way, from the first episode, I remember I said it's probably about $6,000 for the family. You're probably more towards $7,000 or more when it's family of 4.
Right.
It depends on when you sail. If you're sailing more the off season of sailing, where it's not the heightened one, that's when you find more of those deals.
This is also, though, guys, what we're gonna say. If you have a travel agent or you need one, I mean, we have a bunch that follow us and that we follow back. And so we're not going to say specifically one, but if you use a travel agent, it's already built into the cost of what you're booking anyway. So you don't pay extra for a travel agent, but your travel agents will be on top of these kind of deals. So that's another reason it's good to
travel
use
agents,
one.
Honestly, you can find them anywhere. Anybody could be even this guy. He could be a travel agent. You don't know.
Son of a bee. For those listening on Spotify, that freaking Blue Goblin just showed up on the screen again. Jesus, kick him overboard.
He's a great one.
Yeah, so you cannot use your annual pass as a discount, but we say that now. You never know what specials Disney could come up with at any given time when they're struggling to fill ships.
If Disney needs a cash grab, they'll find a way to do something.
But DVC and Disney Visa often get merchandise discounts in the stores on the ships and stuff like that.
That is true. Yeah, you do have a discount with this. But was it annual pass too, though?
I mean, according to the mom, I thought it was, but according to the mommy blog on Disney Parks that I read, they did not.
Yeah, I thought at one point maybe there was. Don't directly quote
This
me.
is the struggle of the podcast. You could be listening 6 months from now, and everything we're telling you could have changed.
It could change in a heartbeat,
Yeah,
but I know
so
there is discounts
time of
available,
recording-
and I do believe it's the DVC discount is available on board. So when you're getting things, because of course it's
DVC,
Disney.
yes, I don't know if
and
Animal
Disney.
House.
That's the other thing we're talking about. They have some nice shops on board.
They do.
Like we're talking about really nice. We're talking about like Hublot watches or like Panerai or something like that or whatever, like high end things.
It always blows my mind. I have no money, and so the idea of all the money I spent on the cruise, and then also having money to go shop at Tiffany's or Cartier or something, I'm like, who's got this money? Not me. Not me. Like and subscribe. Not me.
It makes sense on cruise ships that have casinos because that's
Oh, yeah,
number one
for
thing.
sure.
Okay, I'll give you an example. The cruise I was just on, the one girl, I think her name was Tiffany. I wish it was my wife. My wife's name Tiffany. For all you stalkers out there, just kidding. But the first night, I kid you not, the casino opened on Symphony of the Seas. The first night, the casino wasn't open, I swear, for 15, 20 minutes. Girl hits a Dragon Link slot machine for $112,000. And she'd been back to back to back cruising or whatever. She'd been on this ship for a while, but I was like,
Good for her.
why didn't I send it that one?
Good for her.
And it was funny because if anybody plays slot machines, and I'm an avid slot machine player, guilty slots. But this one, you get what's called a grand jackpot, and you have to fill in the bonuses. You have to fill all 15 slots with these little Dragon Balls that fly down. And it never happens. You get like 14 out of 15 a lot, and I'm like, and increase the anxiety of, I'm going to get it. It doesn't happen. This one, the girl goes, I thought the machine broke. It triggered a random grand, which would just come up on the screen. As she goes to plus, she goes, and then like stop. It goes, random grand jackpot. She didn't have to go into the bonus level. It just literally awarded her $100-some thousand.
Man, that's awesome.
I was like, who's my best friend? And then I was like,
Who's my best
and then I'm like, I'm like, I'm single for the night. If you're looking for somebody, some company, just kidding, honey. I love you. Don't hurt me. But I was like, hey, it's 30,000 for the night, lady.
Yes.
But
Anyway,
like that's
the shops,
why they
you were
have the
saying.
shops there because
right.
if somebody like on
but
those
on Disney,
ships,
they don't have a casino.
they don't have that. They usually have things and specials when you get
if
on
people
board.
are going to spend it, good for them. Like some people like to buy that kind of stuff on cruise ships. Some people think Starlight's a good parade. I mean, we all have our things. Anyway,
Again, I'll reserve
it's
judgment
fine.
until later.
It's just not an upgrade. I'll never.
Now,
be
one of the
convinced
things we
otherwise.
like is the bar. We were talking about, people asked us about bar and lounges. Mm-hmm. Now, I will go from the fantasy first.
Right. Well, also that answers the question, which we kind of did say on our last one, but we'll reiterate. Our favorite ship of those we've sailed on is the Fantasy. We love it. We love the Fantasy. So that answers that question. But I will say something to keep in mind about Disney bars and lounges is I wouldn't say Disney nightlife is something to go for, which is fine by us. We're not looking for like nightlife. Like you're not going to see a lot of people dancing in a club on a Disney ship. I remember the very first time we went on a Disney ship and we were, maybe in our, Josh, were you a teen or 20s? I can't remember when we first went on a Disney ship and it was you, me, mom, Danny, Karen. And I remember going to the bar and being like, there's no one here. Like there was nowhere you were going to dance like there was because everyone had kids and they were putting their kids to bed and there was no nightlife. They don't stay open very late, I will say. But the theming of the bars is awesome. Like really on the Fantasy, you've got an Irish pub. You've got Ooh La La, which I absolutely love.
Which is one we actually had a lot of fun in because we did like one of the last nights of our cruise. We had some family members. We were sitting in there and we're just giggling in the corner. Very plush
beautiful
lounge.
Champagne
very
vibe.
French inspired.
Yeah. Little bubbles and
boutique champagne like joint.
Music.
And it's comfy. It's a vibe in itself, and it's not a walkthrough either because there's some of those things. There's one in the middle there. I'm trying to remember what it's called, like through like the nightlife area. There's Ooh La La next to it, and then you go through and like the pub was on one side, but there's like a little center bar area, and I think it's almost like a D lounge kind of thing where they have like.
I thought that was the Irish place.
No, the Irish place is on the other side. But you walk through something.
And then there's the Tube, which is like the pub, like the like kind of like
the Tube
dancing.
Is basically like that's where you would have your nightlife. That's where you'd have actual
parties
dancing,
and
DJ kind of
stuff
thing,
like that.
and they do trivia and all in that.
I will say too, a big thing about the Fantasy as opposed to the Wish, these bars, as of right now, you never know what Disney's going to do, are not Disney IP themed bars.
Yeah.
They are not any Disney movie, Disney character. They are Ooh La La. They're The Tube. They're themed in like different parts of the world. But whereas when you go on the Wish, they are all themed to different movies. Like
Well, before you get away from the fantasy,
okay.
Skyline
Yes.
is I would say they're more elegant. Let's take it to a contemporary New York style posh lounge.
Yes.
Kind of deal. So more,
Ocean liner. Like it
more,
gives very
more modern-esque kind of thing. But the cool thing about that, if you haven't done it, is there's a video screen behind the bar. Now that takes you through all different places while you're in there. Like it changes the skyline for you. So one time you're looking at, I think it was like Egypt or something like that.
It's supposed to look like you're cruising past these cities. So it's a view as if you're looking out windows of the ship.
So you can see
and they
things.
change throughout the time that you're there.
What's really cool is because I think the Paris one, you can see Chewbacca walking down the street. If you look closely, you see him every
Very
once in a while.
closely.
Yeah, you can see
also,
him
the
walking.
music in the bar changes with the cities.
Yes.
It's very subtle.
And it's a decent cocktail menu. I mean, they've got they've obviously got a full bar and everything. It's more of, I would say
We loved it.
Lends it more to a martini and bourbon cocktail kind of lounge kind of
We
thing.
loved it. It was basically like, pre-hyperspace and Haunted Mansion style lounges.
It's still actually, I'll be honest with you, I think it's still my favorite. And I haven't been on Treasure yet,
Right.
but I'm sure the Haunted Mansion bar will quickly become my favorite.
Yeah.
The other thing is before we jump to the Wish, is there's a couple other ones. One is the Bon Voyage bar. We've already
Which
talked.
we did talk about that.
We
We
did
love.
talk about
BVB.
that. Yeah, BVB, Bon Voyage bar.
Yeah.
So we absolutely love that one because it's easy to go down. You can grab a drink, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, whatever, sit in there. Bartenders are great. Usually just have a little chill moment. And it's great because it's before you go in the regular theater for like one of the shows. We were
like literally on the same brain sync of what I was
you can
thinking.
sit there, enjoy something until they open up the doors, or you're saying, okay, we got a little while before this. Hey, this is simple. Let's everybody congregate at this point. We'll meet you at BVB to go have something, or just to sit
home base.
around.
It's like your home base.
The other thing is it got a lot of character meet and greets that will happen like right around there. So you can be like, here, shoot the kids over here. We got somewhere to sit and we'll wait
I
for
think
them.
it's a very important picture to paint for those of you that have not been on a Disney cruise or who have not been on the Fantasy. Because Disney obviously is known, and what you're seeing now promoted through Disney cruise ships is very heavy theming of Disney. And again, the Fantasy class, or the Fantasy is much more, and the Dream same, but they're much more like maritime theming. Those original 4 ships, they're like themed very maritime. Now they do have Disney character theming in certain aspects of it for sure, in the restaurants mainly, and in the clubs and
Good
stuff.
point,
Kids
Gilligan.
Clubs. But to
Little
paint
buddy.
this picture, you're gonna walk in and you're gonna hear me and Josh say, "Oh, we love this bar," and you're gonna be like, what? Because it's literally just a lobby bar. It's a bar up against the one section of the lobby.
It would be equivalent to what they're doing at the Grand Floridian now, with minus the bird cage kind of theme.
Yeah.
It's like something
but
that's a simple
it's the service
main
you're
level
going for
bar.
because you will make connections with those bartenders and they will be awesome. You can walk by on your way to the theater, grab a drink on your way to the theater, grab a drink on your way out of the theater.
That is
Hey,
something
what's up?
we talked about before, and it's saying the minds that these employees or cast members have are incredible. It's through every cruise line. Be able to remember, from stateroom attendants to bartenders to servers to anything maintenance. It doesn't matter if you've introduced yourself to somebody on a ship. They remember you, and they remember you by name. They know what you like. I can't imagine having a changeover. Especially on a 3 or 4 day cruise. But like 7 days, you only have 7 days to get to know people, and then you have to do it again, rinse and repeat. But they will literally remember you. They'll remember what you drink. So you come up, you're like, oh, would you like another one of these? Like Gina drinks fancy stuff. Do you want another Hugo Spritz or something? You're like, oh, okay, I got this for you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And they love to engage. They're not just like, what do you have? And they go back and sit, and you don't have like the normal bartenders now where they go back on their phone, or they talk to the friend they have at the bar, and that's it. And you don't get that engagement.
And to make a friend, be a friend. Like if you're going to go up and order at any bartender, and we again know from experience, they're not going to be your friend. They'll be polite, they'll be courteous, but they're not going to be your friend. Be a friend.
Yeah.
And so when we'd sit there, and again, what we love about BVB is because some of the other bars and lounges, after a certain time, it's an age limit, understandably. And so with our kids, whether it was preteen, teen, or even my son, who I think was 5 or 6 when Josh and I took him on the Fantasy the last time, we can sit right at the bar with those kids. They're hanging out. Mozzie, I got him some toys at the gift shop, and he was sitting there playing. He's practicing his Italian with the bartenders. And Like I said, we'd bring the kids down in their pajamas because there's some little couches around there too. And they'd play at the little tables with their stuff or playing with each other. And then like Josh mentioned, and we mentioned in the previous one, there's so many character meet and greets that happen in that lobby, in that atrium, that somebody in the group just goes, oh yeah, I'll take the kids over there. Even if it's one of the older kids goes, oh, I'll take them in line for Cinderella. Hey, even if we want to pop over and get a picture, we're like the first ones there. Like, oh, Cinderella's going to be starting in 2 minutes. Let's jump over and get a picture. It's so convenient in that aspect, but it just feels like, because it's hard when you're on a vacation and you've got little kids, and maybe your kids are like my son. He didn't want to go to the clubs. He didn't want to be away from me. So how do I also get to enjoy a little evening if I didn't have a babysitter? My mom was not on that trip. And to be able to still have a little bit of nighttime fun and hang with Josh, but also my son was there with us because it was just the three of us on that trip. So we do love that. The other bars are going to look more exciting, but that one is a great one.
Here's another Disney tip for you guys, and I'm pretty sure it's still the same way. So the popcorn on the ship functions the same way the popcorn in the parks does. Mm-hmm. So if you buy a popcorn bucket...
It is not included in the cost of your cruise.
It's not included, but if you buy a popcorn bucket, the refills are cheap. It's a cheap refill, and you can use that bucket in the parks, and you can reuse that bucket on the ship. So you can go through and just take that with you and just pay for the cheap refill to the popcorn bucket. And you can do that, and like it doesn't matter. So make sure if you have them, you buy them one cruise, bring them to the next one, and just go and use it again. Be like, here, I'll pay less for the popcorn.
Exactly.
And it usually saves you a few bucks over that. And you've got your thing you take back with you.
Now, on the Wish, I would say your best equivalent of BVB, because it's not there, is going to be the Bayou, because it's open on all sides, so it's not like
I wasn't done with fantasy yet. I'm running this show, Gina.
You also tell me that we take too long, and we'd already been 20 minutes in after my
we'll go
nighttime
for another
spectacular.
2 hours. Whatever. The magic of Disney cruises. It's a 3-hour tour. Okay? Whatever. I mean, I don't care. Settle down, little buddy. Okay.
I hate it here.
You're really earning that hat. Okay.
Here.
All right, Gilligan, settle down. So anyway, another place is when you're up on top deck, you have currents. And currents, you'll be out in the sun. Take off those glasses, Elton. But you have currents, and currents is a bar out towards more the sunshine kind of thing. You can go through, get your cocktails up there. And then you have the adult bar area that's in the those areas, which is really good too. They're not so much like currents is out in the open, and the adult bar, I'm not sure it really named there in the adult area, but that's a great place because you're away from all kids and stuff. You can get your drinks pretty expediently, and I enjoy that. The other thing is on Fantasy. And I know we said some of the top lounges, but like you were talking about the pub. Pub's great too, especially if they have a way you can get some like sports games and everything. You can go in there and do that. That's a great choice for those people that just want to go and grab a beer or something. Not everybody is cocktail based. Some people are just more beer, wine kind of people. And then you do that. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, there's also the like D Lounge, which is a special place where like they host a lot of
trivia
family events,
and
trivia things.
And all that
they
stuff.
have the DVC events in there, whereas it's a little different on the Wish, but we'll get to that obviously like Josh said. Something else I want to point out about the Fantasy, two things that I've heard several people talk about. That the walking track on the Fantasy is complete. So if you're somebody who likes to get up in the morning, do a walk, do a little jog, it's a complete loop. On the Wish, it's not going to be that. You're going to have to get to a spot and kind of turn around. It's laid out a little bit differently. Also, the adult section where it's put, I think, can feel a little better on the Fantasy than on the Wish, where they said you feel like you're right on the other side of the kids' slide. An important thing to know, there are, I believe, again, memories, not facts, that there are more pools essentially by definition on the Wish, that they call them like more pools. They're little
but
pools.
More puddles.
They're
it's
little
a puddle.
pools. I don't love the pool situation unless it's a port day and everybody gets off. Then it's fine. But the rides. Okay, so there's 2 slides, big slides. Like there's little like, kids sections. There's Nemo's Reef and there's the Toy Story one on the Wish. But they have the Aqua Duck, which is a big clear tube slide that goes around like the top of the ship and everything on the Fantasy. On the Wish, it's going to be the Aqua Mouse. And the Aqua Mouse, they call it like the first at-sea
water
attraction.
Coaster.
Yeah, it's a water coaster. So you're going through a slide, but then you're also going through
you got some screens in there and some projection stuff. And
so those are some things also that
it's
are
actually propelled, like you go up like on a conveyor on that too. So it's got some, it's a little terrifying because there's a lot inside, and I'm not so much an inside tube kind of person.
This is
one
why
of the
I
things
have
we didn't cover before, and this is important for you parents out there. We've said a little bit about, maybe a tiny bit, but like the Oceaneers Lab and the Oceaneers Club on Disney any of the Disney ships, basically. So you've got that. You also got some more infant care things.
You've
that they
got
have.
infant, you've got kids, you've got tweens and teens.
So you've got like Vibe and Edge and all these different like clubs for
Which is
the
good
older
because you
kids.
don't necessarily want teenagers like hanging out
they'd
with
run
your
amok
littles
in the
and stuff.
ocean,
Yeah.
and there's age limits for certain ones. There's open houses when you first get on the ship. So when you want to go to the Adventure Oceaneers Club or the Oceaneers Lab, and you go through, I told you, they get these things just decked out. It's like you've got like a Star Wars
Theming is
area. You've
amazing.
got like, like this fantasy Disney area. You've got like a Toy Story kind of area. These, on some of the ships before, they used to have like a Disney Infinity when they had the video game. They had a whole room set up for that.
Animation classes, big
Animation
dance
stuff.
floors
They have
with
things where
games.
they'll feed. They ask everything about your kid. Your kid gets a magic band on the cruise if they're in the clubs, because what
different
happens
than
is,
their standard magic band.
yes,
It's
and what
special for the
happens is they
clubs.
have things. If they have an allergy, it's listed on there. They have a thing on their magic band. They check those things. You have to check them in and out of these clubs. There's a special password that you have to give them. You have these wave phones, they're called, on the ship that they'll give you or whatever for that. They'll get in touch with you if your child needs to be picked up. There's usually in your stateroom or whatever else it is. I don't know if they've upgraded that yet because I haven't been on in a while, but it might just be through the Disney app. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's still the wave phone. But they take care, and they also will feed your child in there too. So if they want to be there an extended period of time, okay, what can they have? We're gonna have certain snacks here.
Some people send their kids there to dinner because they want to go do in Remy and Paolo or something like that.
Yeah.
So their kids are in the club.
And they'll have like
having-
snacks and all, but they make sure that the kids are taken care of. There's more than enough staff per kids in the clubs, but know that they're taken care of, and it's really special because I haven't heard horror stories yet. I'm not saying there hasn't been ones. There's always a story about something that happens.
Our
at
younger
sea.
sister loved them when she was younger. Brianna would go on. She made so many friends, her and her best friend. They stayed in touch with for years.
Yeah.
With these people that they made friends with. They were in the clubs all the time, especially
They were
like
23 years old. It was
especially like the tween and teen and stuff like that. So, and then I think that Quinn, our niece, when she just went on, she was all about
and
the club.
it's a small world nursery is
Yes.
is the infamous. But
Now
saying
that
something.
costs extra.
Yes.
The
Well,
nursery,
it should. It
right?
should.
Because it's baby care, so you do pay for that. It's not
That
crazy
kid
cost,
can't just do stuff. They have to watch literally the entire time.
right?
they're in
Whereas the
there, so it's a real
clubs
job.
are included in
Yeah.
the.
And they have ones like I
I think you
like,
put a down payment on the special magic band though, and then you get refunded back for it in case you.
yeah,
don't
that
give
you
back the
return
magic. It's like
basically the
$10 or
magic
$12
band,
or
yeah,
something.
at the end. But those are things to keep in mind because that's a really big portion of Disney travel. Because everybody said, remember, I said Disney isn't just for kids, for adults too. But primarily on that ship, you're going to have more of a kids to adult ratio, and it's Disney. There's the magic of Disney. There's all the things that go on there. It's not like they're not total hellions when they're around there, but there's so much to see. There's still in that all the Disney magic. So you don't really need to worry about like, oh, this kid's a pain in the butt. This one, there has been a couple incidents here and there. I know my niece almost got drowned in a pool because somebody was drunk and jumped in. And that wasn't a good day, but some things do happen. The key is keep an eye on your children, even if anywhere you're at, as a rule of thumb, Disney, anywhere. It's just like anything can happen at any point.
Yeah, if you're hesitant, do the open house. It's on like the first day that you get on the ship.
And this
You've
is a
got
public area, by the way.
Yes, go in with the parents and go in and see. Let your kids see what it's like. You see what it's like. Meet some of the people before you just like throw your kid in the club.
Yeah.
I think that that's a great way to make yourself feel comfortable. And my son just never wanted to do the clubs when he was little by himself. So I would just go to the open house days because they do more than one.
Yeah.
And so we would just go in
That
the
way you
open
could
house.
be
I think
with
they're
them.
usually on port days maybe, but I would go into the open house with him. We would play.
It's worth
in
it on
Andy's
day one, I
room
think, to
and-
go in there too.
Yeah, so if he wanted to play, that was because on a cruise ship when you've got like a 2 or 3 year old, they need somewhere they can run their legs and feel like kind of free to do what they want to do. Because obviously, as you're walking through the ship, you're keeping them kind of contained up on the decks. You're not going to let them run amok. So those clubs are a great place for kids to spend their energy also and run around. Also, on that note, I will say Disney does a great job of keeping activities all throughout the cruise. Like all throughout the cruise. There's going to be events all the time. The one time we were on the ship, I had several kids to myself the one day because my sister and her husband and my mom got off the ship and they went in Aruba. And I said I would take their 2 kids
Beautiful
plus my
place.
little one. And so went and had lunch, and then there was in one of the pubs during the day, it was like make a Thor's helmet and do this, and then there's character meet and greet. So there's a lot of ways to keep kids occupied on the ship, to keep adults. There's bingo, there's other, fun things that
Well,
you
there's
can
also,
do.
we talked about before, first run movies.
Yeah.
So you can go into, if a movie's playing on board or off the ship, and it's a premiere movie, like just hit the theaters, and it's a Disney film, whether it's Disney, Pixar, like Buena Vista, whatever else, or Buena Vista Pictures, whatever it might be. I don't even know how many they own at this point. But it'll be on the ship. they'll have a time of designation for it. And that's where he said, I like the fantasy better than I like the Wish when they divided the theaters. And that even the two together, I still aren't the size of the one.
The restaurants are going to be different. We touched on that a little bit, like theming wise. So if that's a high priority to you,
I do have a tip.
Look into that.
I do have a tip for everyone out there. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. And this regards to your safety. And the safety tip is, it may feel like a breezy day on the top of this ship. Okay, it might feel like the air is cool. It's nice out here. Put your sunblock on, especially if you have a pasty kid or you're a pasty person or pasty in general. You're fair skinned. Do not risk it, because when you're in the Caribbean, welcome to the Caribbean.
Yeah,
it's imperative that you do that, because I've seen more lobsters come to dinner night one than I can count. People go up there like, oh yeah, because the first instinct on a Disney cruise or any cruise is that everybody goes up top by the pool, sits out there in the sun, gets in the water, everybody plays for the rest of the day, and then they're like, oh my God, I'm sunburned. So you need to make sure you're wearing sunblock, because it's going to feel about like in the 70s. It's actually probably going to be closer to 100 degrees when you're out in the water, and just because the cool like sea air is like kind of going by. That's an issue. If it's a little bit breezy out there, make sure you have your sunblock on, because you will burn, you will fry, and it will affect the rest of your vacation. I remember getting a massage one time. I had booked and I couldn't cancel it, and I was burned on the top of my head. It was ridiculous. I was just burned. I was as red as that cup Gina has.
You just made me think, Josh, and I feel like I think I know the answer, but I don't offhand. Because when we were in Royal Caribbean, obviously we got the little casitas up on the pool deck. Does Disney have something like that where you can rent like a little bed-style cabana on the deck? I don't feel like I remember seeing anything like that.
No, they don't have the deck
like
space
there's
for it.
obviously
They have stuff, I think, maybe
in the concierge
you
section.
can go and sit in the adult area or like suite like area kind of thing.
So I'm trying to think
But
if
it's
they
not,
have anything like that.
no,
That's
not
something we'll have to look at. Comment below if you know the answer.
They have them on the private island.
Yeah.
Now they 100% have those. You can rent cabanas and everything in nice
yeah,
little
for
areas
sure. I know they
yourself
have
there,
them on
but they don't
Castaway
have them
Key.
on the ship.
Another tip I want to give before I forget. When we were just talking about restaurants, I actually had never thought of this, and it seems so simple until I heard someone else say it. Now I'm like, now that makes so much sense. The day you get on the ship, if you have small children, do not go to cabanas, which is the buffet. Go to the sit-down restaurant. The idea that if you have small children and you're going up to a buffet on a crowded day, trying to get all their food organized and then also find a place to sit, that's a stressful way to start your trip. But if you go to the sit-down restaurant, like Royal Court is probably the one, have a seat, relax, start your day there. I also believe in doing that on the last day, getting up a little earlier, doing the breakfast, sit down, get waited on, as opposed to rushing to where you know everyone's
That's a quality
going to
tip.
cabanas.
I'll tell you, that's a quality tip. But if you're on the Wish, I would suggest also going upstairs to where they have the multiple stations thing, the pool deck. So they have like the cantina thing, the barbecue thing, and all that stuff, the ice cream place.
Because the rest of your trip,
and you can get pizza up there, everything else, and that's simple. Just find a table, sit down, and let your kids sit there.
The rest
and
of your
grab
trip
them.
will be scattered meal times, essentially. What time someone eating breakfast, what time. But when you're getting on the ship, even though they stagger times, it's going to be very busy in those restaurants because everyone hasn't gotten into their rooms yet. So they're all kind of racing to go get something to eat, what have you. But I feel like that starts, let's talk about this, Josh, unless I'm jumping off of something you wanted to talk about. Okay.
I'll tell you when you start talking.
So one of the questions was, what's the best port? I'm a big Port Canaveral person. I prefer Port Canaveral. The number one reason, it's the closest to Disney. Because you have Fort Lauderdale.
What's the best port? 100%.
Port Canaveral is very Disney. It is very well, and they've improved it over the years that we've been doing Disney cruising. It used to be a mad scene. Yeah. Remember, you'd get there and it was a mob scene when they first started doing Disney cruises. And now it's so seamless, I would say. You know, you have your bags. Yeah. If you're flying in that day, which we have learned, like, don't fly in the day of a cruise if you can avoid it because you never know delays. Fly in the night before if that is financially possible. Check
in way ahead of time. When your check-in window comes, get an early one.
You get to pick your port time.
Yeah, get an early one. They kind of hold you to it for the most part. A lot of
times. There's easy parking there. If you flew in that day, your bags would be tagged and Disney would just take them. Don't put the tags on the bags if you don't want that. If you're going somewhere and you want, because you will lose your bags.
Do not put your tags on your bags while you're at the airport. If they're in baggage claim, you already have your tag put on there because people have done that. The cruise line will just take them and take them to the ship because they don't really scanning to see whose bags are supposed to. They just see the tags coming off at certain flights and they're like,
so wait to put your tags on until you get to the port. And then when you get there, everything is easily done sign-wise. Here's another pro tip. If your port arrival time is 1:30 and you're there at 1, you might get on earlier. So don't feel like you
Yeah,
have to
sometimes it's an
if
hour
it's going
before.
seamless,
Yeah.
Josh and I have been there where you stand near the line and the person will say to you, oh, what time? Yeah, go ahead in. And they'll just let you get in. I think it's, you're going to have lines to get in, obviously, but it's pretty seamless. You go through a little bit of security, so make sure it's just like anything else.
The
like
only one they're going to hold the most preferential stuff to is the earliest boarding
Right.
time. So if you're there, like Royal Caribbean's great with, I'll tell you right now, Wonder of the Seas going out of Port Canaveral, never a problem. I could get there and I'm like, I got a noon boarding time. It's 11:30 or something like that. They're like, oh, just go in.
Yeah, we got on early
it's like
on our
we're at
last
a 2
Disney
o'clock
cruise.
one. They're like, go in. It's 11 something. And I go,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. If the
But
line's not backed
there's
up,
certain ones
they're
that
just going to
aren't.
let you go.
It's the thing is reminders. Have your passport on you, okay? Have your birth certificate if you're traveling via birth certificate. Now, before it was like, oh, you need a passport to travel on a cruise. That's only true if you are disembarking at the final part of your cruise in a foreign land.
Right.
If you're coming from U.S. port back to U.S. port, a birth certificate is okay to travel with.
But my recommendation
the best
would
thing
be
is to have your
have it.
passport. But some people are like, well, I only have my kid's birth certificate. I only have this. Then use that. It's going to be more seamless
Yeah, kids,
with the other
the
thing.
birth certificate is easy, but I would say for adults, if you have a passport, bring a passport. It's just the easiest
But I would
way
say
to go
for
about the whole
anything,
thing.
it's the passport's the best thing.
Yeah.
But have that in hand. Make sure it's where you can get to it. Make sure you have your travel documents out. Make sure
Also,
you're prepared to get to there and you have the things linked.
On Disney's website, you can look up these questions on the Disney Cruise Line, and they will tell you, like, if you're sailing this cruise, this is the documentation you need. If you're sailing this cruise, but like Josh said, if you were an American port and returning to American port, you generally only need birth certificate and
pre-plan your trip a bit when it opens up, your window to open up. Now it's different between the tiers that you're on, whether you're a pearl status, platinum, gold, silver, castaway key member. Doesn't matter. There's different ways it opens for you to be to book things on the trip. If you're at the highest tier, you're going to have the most time out that you can actually book activities on the cruise. So it's your massages, your brunches, your things like that, preferential things.
they go fast, guys. They
Stuff
really
for Castaway
do go fast.
Key. They do go quick. People go through and they're booking stuff out. So you want to make sure, according to whatever level you are, you get in there as soon as, and if you're brand new to it, make sure as soon as that window opens, some people will forget, I'm one of them, and then go in there, grab the spaces you want, or go to the reservations desk on the cruise and ask if there's any openings during the cruise that you can find there.
Because that
That's
does
very
happen.
important.
People do decide, like, oh, schedule-wise, it doesn't work out for me. I'm going to have to change this. And things do open up.
Yeah.
But something good to know. So you hear us talk about levels. So Disney's, like, loyalty program, let's say for the cruise, is called Castaway Club.
Yeah, the Castaway Club.
And the Castaway Club, once you've sailed one cruise, you are now silver.
Yeah.
So you'll immediately be called Silver Castaway Club. Your next cruise, like that
You'll
you're
get a little
on, you
free
will have a
gift in your
little
room.
gift. It might be a luggage tag. It might be a, little drawstring backpack, something. It depends what they're doing at the time. It might be a special kind of lanyard. They did that during
Severed
the,
Roger
25
Rabbit's foot for luck.
Yes.
Just kidding.
So that's it. Then once you hit 5 cruises, you become gold.
Mm-hmm.
When you hit 10 cruises, you're going to be platinum. And now I think, is it 20 that's pearl?
It's like 20 or 25. I think it's pearl.
You get pearl.
And pearl, like, again, it's another list of things, but each cruise you will get something.
Yes, every
it's not
cruise.
like just saying it's. I'll give you an example. I always compare things to Royal Caribbean. Like when I get little pins or something, like you'll get like something in the room, like a little here. Thank you for this, whatever. It's like a little plate of something from a chef, like a couple little desserts or something in there. But when you make each status level, they give you like a pin, a lapel pin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Disney, every time you're on there, you're going to get some. There's going to be some repeat gifts. I think
Yeah.
Gold Medal, it's usually like a sling bag or something like that you can take with you onto like the beach and everything. So it's nice. They give you some decent
Yeah,
swag
they've had
on
some
there.
like nice cooler bags
Yeah,
and
they've
stuff.
had
Like
some
it's
good
not
things.
crap. It's not
yeah,
crap.
It's not terrible.
No.
So that's neat.
It's bigger than what you're going to get, like we talked about. DVC, again, as a
Yeah.
reminder. Go to the DVC desk every day on your cruise. They'll have some cute little giveaway for you. For the kids, they generally have like little light up bracelets. They have DVC Disney, like, or Disney Cruise tattoos that are like Pirate Mickey and stuff. They have things like chapsticks and luggage tags and pop sockets. Again, like I said, I have my pop socket that I got on a Disney cruise that I have on there. It says Disney Vacation Club. So they do have smaller gifts. What you're going to get in your room is going to be a larger gift. And again, if Josh and I were both the same level, let's say we're both gold and we got a room and we shared a room, there's only going to be one gift in there. They don't do it per person.
Yeah, they
do
tell
it
you you
per
can
room.
split. If you're going to get 2 rooms, have one of that status in each room.
Split the status, because then if it was, separate rooms, then you get, so if there's a silver and a gold in your room, you will get a silver gift and a gold gift.
Yeah.
It's not just the top one, but if there's 2 golds, you're going to get 1 gift.
And they
which
usually
is dope.
they give you a lanyard usually with that designation on it to keep your C-Pass in.
Yes. Also,
So it's like a
DVC
silver
desk
or
has
gold.
lanyards that are DVC lanyards as well.
So you'll have no shortage of that. So if you're coming on there, like people are like, oh, I got this or whatever. I'm like, it'll show your designation basically. So it'll be the color of that.
And your key to the world, essentially, your little cruise card is going to have a little legend on it that's going to tell you your dining order. And I think it also puts your dining table on there.
And
your
it'll also
number
put your muster station on
and your
there.
muster station. So there's a lot of information on that card. So you do want to
And
have
your
it. 'Cause a
social
lot of
security
people,
number in case anybody wants to steal your ID.
your credit card number. A lot of people do now. They're starting to use magic bands on Disney cruises, but like that key is very important for that information. You could have it in your
Disney
app,
Low
obviously,
Jack
I'm
at
sure.
sea. Yeah. So one of the things I want to cover before we run out of time on this episode is going back where you said about the Disney Wish. Okay, so lounges on the Disney Wish. There are multiple ones in there. Nightingales that we went into, which is again that more posh,
Which was fine.
which was a posh like piano bar kind of thing, but it was nice. It was
I like
chill.
Blue La La better.
I do. I think that's a fair, accurate statement. It's directly next door to both the Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge and the Bayou. The Bayou is a great chill thing. They do trivia in there. It's wide open to everybody. You can come
I
through.
didn't love their drink menu there.
No, it's trash. But it's
This is why we're not getting a free
garbage.
cruise.
It's garbage. But it's fine. But the atmosphere, I'm not there. Listen, I'm not expecting to have the heightened thing. I'm not eating like at a Michelin star restaurant. If I was getting things that were substandard at Victorian Albert's or something, I'd be like, oh, this is this.
Of course.
It's going to be normal. It's normal cruising. Every cruise you go on, the cocktails are terrible. But I'll be honest with you, it's the vibe and where you're sitting. Okay. And you can get anything. You're talking about specialty cocktails. Keep in mind, all these bars you go to are full bars. They can make the cocktail you want. It doesn't have to be the one, I'll take, Tiana's hangover. You're like, okay, it tastes like swamp water. Well, what did you expect? But anyway, this tastes like a frog swam in it.
I didn't have that experience.
But no, I'm saying the one I will say, and even the same thing with the Hyperspace Lounge, I thought there were some decent cocktails on
I got
there.
the same drink every single time we were there because once I liked it, I was like, I'll just get that.
The presentation of the things, the ice cubes, the glitter stuff. I still don't know what's in these glitter drinks, but like they have ice cubes like Darth Vader shaped, and it was like a blue ice cube and one. Like
You did
martini.
some fancy drink.
Oh, I did the
thing that they had
coaxium
there.
thing. It was like full disclosure. Again, I was employed at the time. it was like a $500 drink. It wasn't the $5,000 one that you got the trip to Skywalker Ranch, because they do have that on there, which is one we won't even cover because if you want to get it,
but
get
just
it.
paint the picture of what this drink was like.
The drink was a multi-tiered drink.
It was like a little suitcase looking
Yeah, it was
thing.
like this thing. It was like this coaxium thing or whatever you got. It was like a container. You pulled up the top and they're all glue. Like each of the thing had these little like silicone things down and it looked like almost like alien-like. And there was different drinks they mixed in either. I can't remember what the drinks were.
I don't feel like you liked any.
None of them were great. But the experience and the whole thing, I'll have to find the video at some point, maybe post it to the our Instagram or something.
That was fun.
But it was fun.
I don't know.
It
It was
a fun
$500
vibe.
of fun.
It was a lot of fun trying to get.
But didn't you keep
I have
something?
It. No,
Yeah.
I have the whole thing.
Okay.
You keep
Yeah.
the actual
You keep
thing
the
it comes in,
which is so fun for.
I will
taking
find it and I will bring it onto the show.
Because we drove that trip, so that's why it was like.
No. We flew, and that was fun at security because
right,
I had to
you
take
did.
it through. And they're like, they
Whoops, my
scanned
bad.
it, and they're like, "What is this?" I go, "Ha, it's my bomb." No, it wasn't. It was just thing. I told okay, it's a Star Wars thing. This might look weird through security. So they opened it. I was like, oh, this is really cool. I said, okay, now put it back. Stop getting.
I will say that the reason when we went on the Wish, now mind you, we did a 3-night. When we went on the Wish, we did hang at Hyperspace the entire time.
Yeah.
We tried the other places, but it was again the staff there was awesome. We loved them. They were so chill.
It's supposed to be a limited time, but there wasn't many people going in there.
Yeah.
Like, if you're staying too long, you're like, okay, we got to make space for other people. We
No,
also
they
had the
didn't.
Star Wars night that we all dressed up. We were at
That
the
was
bar.
fun. Yeah.
So I'm in my, basically Walmart Star Wars
I was
outfit.
Osaka. What's her name? I don't know. I just
Ahsoka?
Ahsoka.
Yes.
Whatever. I don't watch that show. But I looked cute. I'll post a picture. Anyway,
Wrong.
but what I didn't know at the time is that those bars, you can bring kids in till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if you want your kids are Star Wars fans and they want to be able to experience that, they can until 9 o'clock, and then it's adults only. But the entrance is very cool. Like, it is a very cool Star Wars bar. I will give that props. I am looking forward to one day trying the Haunted Mansion bar on
And
the
props
Treasure.
to my
That
man
looks
Kelvin.
amazing.
Kelvin that worked there
Yeah.
was my favorite. He
Yeah.
is man's
They were
got style.
all fantastic. I loved all their vibe. They were really cool people. I would absolutely love that. But for my personal vibe, like Josh said, I like Skyline because it's kind of my like, look at us on this, luxury ocean liner, and we're sitting and look at us floating by Madrid, and like I like that kind of, not a bougie person per se. We all know I'm the president of the Dollar Tree Posse, but I do like
$1.50.
that. I know, right? I like a glass of wine. I like a glass of champagne. That's kind of me. I don't need all these
Gina
drinks that
fits
take
that
20
vibe
minutes.
and the ooh la la vibe. Where it's
Right.
like you
I
go
don't need
through,
a drink that takes 20 minutes to make. It's cool once. I don't need that, like all that pomp and circumstance.
my thing
I
is-
need that in my nighttime parades. Is where I need that.
I think Disney needs more. The only thing I think they're missing on the Disney cruise is more of an island vibe bar up top. Like something like Currents, you might play some things here and there, but I think they need something. Everybody has like a steel drum kind of band here and there or something, but I like to feel that Caribbean
Right.
influence. They have that on Castaway Key. We haven't really got into the private island stuff of this either. I'm like, again, we'll just cover that at a different time.
We'll have to.
But like
It's
their
so much,
islands
guys.
are great. They're incredible.
Amazing.
They're beautifully cared for. You'll have a
Immaculate.
lot of fun. There's food on there. There's like a barbecue. There's everything else. Gina loves that. But and again, the food there I will say
fine.
this, by the way, here's a tip for you adults out there. Go to the adult beach. Go to the adult side of the island, because that food there, you can get like little ribeye steaks and stuff like that there that is not down the other end.
Yeah. Also about the adult side, like, and just in general, let's say what's cool about a cruise in general, but this is also true about Disney, is it's the same staff working on the beach that is working on the boat. So ask your server at dinner and be like, where are you guys going to be tomorrow? Because your server might say, hey, I'm working the adult bar over down on Castaway Key. And then you can see those same people, give them a little cash and a little attention. Like, it's
The
awesome.
water's
Like,
beautiful there. I mean, you can do there's so many things you
it's
can do.
my
The Castaway
favorite
Key 5K or the 1K if you're my sister Danny.
I love Castaway Key so much. It's the only time I get off the boat. Everybody knows. Put me on a 7-day cruise. I'm only getting off on Castaway
See, my
Key.
thing is, I now know I've been to so many different islands and all. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen them all, but I'm like, the thing is, I get off on the ones that I know that the port is easily, they have
Right.
little things
I don't
that
want to have
go
to get in a cab and go anywhere.
I don't get in
tender.
anywhere to go. And then it's actually nice on the Disney cruises because in St. Thomas, they actually go to the other port. Now the bigger ships for Royal Caribbean go to the new side of the port where it's down the other end, and you have to take a trolley into town.
Yeah.
And to get to the stuff you would have automatically just walked off
Right.
the ship and gotten the two sides of the shopping there. So I'm like, I like the fact where Disney can park. You'll see it when you pull in. If you're on the other one, you'll see the ships down there. Usually it's Disney sitting at it.
But let's paint you a picture, guys. From the time that you go through the security, and then there is a photo op that you get to do before you get on the ship. I would say if somebody that want a lot of professional photos, buy the photo package because it just makes it easy for you. But you get the photo op. When you get on that boat, I cannot tell you guys, there's just a magic. There's a magic when you walk onto that ship, and it's so exciting as you're waiting in line. You're hearing everybody else's names announced, and they've got their giant Mickey gloves on, and it's the staff out there, and we mentioned this before, but welcome aboard the Jeppy family, and everybody cheers for you, and you're like, and I'm crying. I remember being on there with my son for
I
the first
instantly
time.
hit the Running Man.
My son
yeah.
was like a year old, his first Disney cruise. And I remember just crying and looking at my dad and be like, I just feel so lucky, like that he's getting to do this, that I'm on another Disney cruise. Like as many as I've
Your
done.
eyes are all glassy
I know.
now.
I'm not,
Oh my God.
I'm not
Somebody
at,
call the Wambulance.
I'm not at I'm not at platinum level yet, but I am gold. So I've done at least 5. But I will tell you, every time I get on that ship, I feel so freaking lucky. I feel so blessed.
it's
I feel
100%.
like what an insane opportunity to be able to do. The magic at sea, again, we touched on, but Disney does fireworks at sea. They do this whole Pirates in the Caribbean show that is absolutely amazing. Do not miss it. They do a really big sail away party. It's so much fun. There's shows we talked about on the last one. I'm trying to like knock off everything that I think that we might have missed, but It is.
Did you have like every other cruise? You have your formal night kind of stuff, so they do things and you hope to be in certain restaurants. Like if you want
Pirate night, we dress up. We dress up for pirate night.
You definitely do. And most of them do, and they'll put stuff in your stateroom. They'll give you a little like handkerchief thing, like to kind of like put like bandana on, like for a pirate kind of deal. So people will have those.
I think on the Wish they do the wands, like with the little star on the end that they give out in people's staterooms. Some of them they have like the little demi thing that goes across the bottom of your bed. And I guess you're allowed to take that home, they say.
I commit Star to Pirate Wars. Night. I'll just chop my own hand off.
Yeah. Well, fun fact about me, when we did our Disney cruise in 2006, was it? And I had my neck surgery like a couple months before that. So I had this big scar on my neck. So when we dressed up for Pirate Night, I like decorated it all up and made it really look slashed. And I remember Danny's like, oh, that's sad. It was like, this is my real scar, but I had it all taken.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, now it looks
Things
awesome.
got real, didn't it, Gina?
But what I want to say is that they're looking again when you're booking. There are different themed cruises as well. There is a Halloween cruise that they do every so often. There's the Merry Christmas. There's Star Wars at sea. I think, isn't there now like a
Marvel.
Pixar at sea, a Marvel at sea?
Yeah.
There's all these different ones. And I'm going to throw in, even though we didn't do wet spaghetti this week, just because I promised Rachel that I would use this, is that she said her wet spaghetti is, I heard they're going to do a Descendants and zombie themed at sea cruise. And I think that would be amazing. That is a great franchise for those who aren't familiar, Descendants and Zombies. And I think because it's not the whole cruise, it doesn't take over the whole cruise, but I do think that would be a really fun theme for families that love those franchises to do. So I heard that as well, Rachel. I also want to say there is something pretty amazing about the Star Wars Day at Sea when you're walking around the pool deck and you see like stormtroopers or like Boba Fett or something like walking towards you.
Easy.
It's cool.
I feel like it would be really cool. I mean, Halloween's Halloween, but it's like you do a Villains Day Villains at sea, but you do it more towards the Captain Hook angle. Yeah. So you've already out on the cruise ship, so you have the Captain Hook angle. But I'll say this, like I said, with the Disney Wish, the Disney Fantasy, I've been on everything except the Treasure at this point and the Destiny coming out. Okay, I've been on all the ships. I've been the Dream, the Fantasy,
Magic
Wonder, Wish, that kind of stuff. So I think they all have their own charm. I really do like the Dream and the Fantasy, the way they're laid out. Yeah. I feel like there's always going to be additions to make things a little bit better. I really do. I really do also like the Rose Bar that we were talking about on the Wish.
Good point.
That's another one where you go up, and that's right before you go into Enchante. And
that
it's nice.
Is amazing.
And it's like you've got like a whole thing, presentation of drinks, everything.
Creativity.
I think it's the rose, the drink. It's the rose, and it goes. They put the thing in there. It's like.
And Kayla and I did the one that had the teapot that they poured and made the whole drink. I think that's definitely a must do.
Again, you don't want to tell everybody how everything's going to go. Go
check it out.
There's no visual here, so you want to check it out on YouTube. Look at it and see the Rose Bar on Disney Wish. But you can see the different specialty cocktails, or better yet, book Disney Vacation. And then go and experience it for yourself. Yeah. I don't feel like I'd be leading somebody down a bad path. I feel like if you're a Disney person, you will 100% have a great time on a Disney cruise. Make sure your motion sickness and all that stuff aside. Make sure if somebody gets queasy, seasick, you take the proper precautions. It's not always rough. Pick a time of year when the seas are a little bit calmer.
And as far as ship to ship, again, we love the Fantasy. Our friends love the Wish better.
Because they went on it first.
You need to decide on your own by watching those videos, because we can't stress enough. There's going to be much more Disney theming on the Wish. The Fantasy is going to be Disney, but it's going to be much more of this very classic maritime vibe. We love that the atrium is so much bigger.
I feel like
we
more
think
airy
it's easy
in the,
to navigate. But another question that we received from our Instagram was, what do you think the ideal length of cruise is going to be?
7 days.
I would say if you're a very first time cruiser and you are apprehensive about knowing if you can handle being on a ship that long,
4 days.
4 or 5. Don't do 3. 3 is for somebody who's done cruises before. 3 is for somebody who's pairing it with the land.
Listen, 3 is for locals.
By the time you get on, because you got to figure the first day you've barely got. So you've got that first night. Then you have a full day. Stuff, yeah. You only get like 2 full days because the day you get off, like you're off first thing in the morning. So it's really not a lot. And I think price wise, it's more. It just makes more sense.
Let's just be honest. 3 days is garbage if you're not a local.
Now,
because getting there,
our family did the 11-day cruise.
That only happens like once a year.
It was phenomenal. It was also great because there were so many of us, so we could kind of break up into
Because
groups.
once you get through a week, you're like, hey, I got another 4 days of this.
Exactly.
That's the other thing about me. I've done multiple back-to-back cruises.
Yes.
And that's the other thing with me. It's like, if you're going to do this, another cruise tip for you guys out there, if you're going to do a back-to-back cruise, like, and if you've got that kind of green that you want to do that with Disney, by all means do it, because most cruises change itineraries the next week. So if they're doing Eastern Caribbean, they'll do Western Caribbean the next week. A lot of them function that way. So it's good. You're going to get 2 different trips, but you're on the same ship for 2 weeks. See when you book with your travel agent or through Disney Direct if they have the same stateroom. If you're getting the same class of it, get it, because when you're getting off the ship, it'll help you immensely, especially I know in Royal Caribbean. I haven't done it on Disney yet. I'm pretty sure it's probably the same thing. They usually will move your bags for you. You don't have to put them out the night before, or you can just leave the stuff in your stateroom if it's the same one. So it's easy off and back on the ship. Usually the people that are doing back to back are the first ones back on the ship because they have to clear for customs.
And we could spend hours telling you all the details of cruising in general if you're not familiar, but that's what your travel agent's for. You know, obviously you guys know with us, anything questions you have, you can always reach out to us, but they are the experts in that, because there's things like you can't bring your luggage onto the ship, but you are allowed to take it off if you want and not have to like leave it out the night before.
If you don't have a lot, I also recommend, and if you can manage it, so it's hard with kids, keep it in mind, but if you can manage it, take your bags off yourself in the morning. You'll be able to keep your clothes
kids,
and everything else.
It's a bigger headache. But if you're just like me and Josh, just on a cruise, like stroll off with your luggage, and then you get to keep your luggage all night. Otherwise, you have to put your luggage out by a certain
10 p.m.
hour
usually,
the night before. And then if you need stuff, obviously you have your little carry-on. But those are just little things, again, ask your
because they
travel
get down
agent
the belly
about.
of the beast, because they're literally going to take it off first thing when they dock. They're going to start taking the luggage off into the port. And they're like, okay, they're putting it in each section to line up so you can come up and claim it and then go through customs.
And if there's anything we possibly still miss, just hit us up.
We did have a question about European cruises, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Does the Disney cruise go to Europe? Yes, they have European cruises with
It
Disney.
will not cruise
they also have
Europe, but
they have ones that cruise from Europe to Lauderdale and to Port Canaveral. You have like 13, 14-day ones out of like Spain
which would
and
be
Portugal.
amazing. So like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Josh and I are trying to put that out there. We would like that. Like and subscribe. Hook us up. Thank you. We promise to love it.
Support that.
Yeah, that is a go. But there's so many more things to talk about. But obviously, it's very obvious that Josh and I endorse Disney cruising heavily. We are not sponsored by Disney Cruises. We are not.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. I'm like, I wholeheartedly think if you're a Disney fan, you'll have a great time on this.
Yeah.
If you are somebody who is already indoctrinated into the cruise culture, that's just kind of like, I like Disney a bit, may not be the exact cruise you're looking for, because you're going to miss out on things you're used to at sea. Okay, so then there's no drink packages. There's some wine packages you can buy, things like that. Drinks are about what you're going to expect them to be on a cruise. Most things are like $14-15 when it's mixed cocktails, somewhere around there.
Things not included. Alcohol,
beers,
fancy
those
coffees
kind of
at the coffee bars, the gelato.
They will monitor you and cut you off if you're getting sloppy, which they should, because there's children around.
Yeah.
But there's no casinos there. They do have designated little smoking area things and stuff for people that do smoke, and they kind of keep that contained.
Service animals, they have things for that.
Yeah, they have things
as
for
well.
your service animals. So that's definitely stuff they try to make accessible for those of you with special needs that for the cruise you're on. But there's so much to it, but there are things that you will miss out on. Disney, I'll tell you one thing, on their buffets, they still have a lot of seafood items and things that I've noticed over years that people have done away with, like peel and eat shrimp, those kind of things. You see more of that on Disney still than you do on anybody else. I'm like, Royal Caribbean, I haven't been to Sands, maybe Utopia. I want to say maybe when I go on Star this month or this next month, I'll probably have like first day, some of these things that do the smaller sailings or like, weekend things, they'll have stuff and bigger premier ships. But there's not a whole lot of seafood buffet things other than like fried fish kind of deals.
Yeah.
So you have like ceviche and like some other stuff like that. But Disney usually does still have like the shrimp options and stuff like that in there. So that's really good to know, because they're not going to cheaping out on you, on the shrimp. Got to have that shrimp. Because some people are wasteful too, and obviously seafood's a little more expensive to get in there. Another thing is catch it from the boat. I mean, obviously.
Yes. 2 other questions we got. Do they get annoyed if you do the Titanic pose at the end of the bit? I'm thinking only if you fall over.
I think they're used to it, and I don't think you can actually access. You can't
access that part of the ship.
You can't access that part, so to speak. You can do it on any other part of the ship.
And then the other one being, when can we do a Disney community meet up on a Disney cruise? At any time. Who's paying?
I would love to organize something like that.
Right.
And just say, look, there's this. But there's also things like, I'll give a short shout out to the Disney Day Drinkers, D3 or whatever. I got my challenge coin over here because I love the concept of Disney Day Drinkers. But I think they may have something they might organize at some point on certain cruises.
They do. I think
they have.
I think
It's not
our
on
family's
Disney
been
all
on
the
it.
time. I think more it's on other cruises. But they
because again,
do that
Disney
for
is
stuff.
going to be the most costly. It
is.
just
It's
is.
very
and
expensive, guys.
I'm gonna post it in something I'm gonna do on our social. But I saw a video of somebody showing.
Keep an eye on last minute deals too. By the way, I'll tell you this.
for
Not
sure.
that there's a ton of them, but
Yeah.
if you're getting like, I can go have some time off and I've got money saved up. Keep an eye on that because occasionally you can find a deal when they're trying to fill up a ship, and it doesn't happen often anymore. But
you get what you pay for, and a lot of these cruises, no disrespect, but like a Carnival is going to be a what kind of show of a lot of college kids, young kids. It is going,
you
nightlife.
sent me a video of a guy peeing on
in the
staircase.
corner of the stairwell. Yeah, and I was like, Carnival.
Carnival.
So Disney,
The fun ship.
I do think you get what you pay for on Disney in a good way. I do
Yeah.
think the service being number one, sanitation, Disney experience, immersion, all that. So for us, we think it's worth it. We get
You
it's
can't
not.
race a Ferrari in a Ford Fiesta. Okay, so if the Ford Fiesta can get you there, a Ferrari would be a lot quicker and it'd be a lot nicer ride. That's what you say when you pay price at certain things. Both things are going to get you somewhere. So you're looking. If you want to budget cruise something, you're going to get what you pay for.
Yeah.
If you're going to pay more expensive, you're going to get what you pay for.
But we
And
love it. I mean, we really, really do love it.
Yeah, so I would say that definitely. It's funny because the theme of this being cruising, and you dress like Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. No offense, little buddy. And Elton John's illegitimate child with Gilligan. This is basically a 3-hour tour. It really is. It's verging on that. So between the two episodes, this is about like 3 hours worth of crap. That we probably
Just
didn't cover
sit
it.
right back in
We
here and
probably didn't
tail.
cover anything. But I will say this. It's a lot of fun. I highly, highly recommend Disney cruises. 10 out of 10 for me. I don't have a lot of complaints when it comes to there. Everybody can find a reason to complain, but why do it? Okay, because there's nothing that's that out of line that needs to be brought up and say, well, God, they do this. I don't feel that way about Disney. I feel Disney, the food's good. I feel like the drinks are all right. I mean, I told you what I think about drinks on cruises anyway.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
agree.
stellar. If somebody's telling me this is the best thing ever, they're lying to you. But it's
I think the
passable.
elevated restaurants have that quality.
Oh yeah, like
I
that
think
kind of
that
stuff.
the diner
but that's
room
not
is
the
fine.
included stuff.
Yeah.
Like I want people knowing what they're getting for what they already paid for.
Yeah.
So
and
what
if
you're
you
getting
love
is fun.
it, book a placeholder.
And what we said before, the difference of Disney cruises, you got to put this into consideration too, is the fact that they do have that Coca-Cola stuff. So it's like all your soft drinks are included. That is not with any other cruise lines.
Yeah.
They don't do that. Disney does. So that you have to buy refreshment packages. Otherwise, you're getting lemonade and juices and stuff like that. And maybe some unsweetened tea and that kind of deal.
Yeah.
From the
One
other
thing to
cruises.
know with those, the rule is like, because you can take on the island, it's included as well, is that if you're going to bring a reusable cup, you have to fill from their cups. It's like you can't put your cup up to the thing. You have to, it's like some sanitation thing. I don't know, but you have to like fill from there.
Yeah.
But to say, if you love it, get a placeholder on this cruise because it's refundable and you have it for X amount of time and it gives you a discount on your next cruise.
Yeah. They have a lot of deals like that. But again, and if you want to go through and look at DVC, go to the DVC thing, talk to them, have them give you some information. Maybe when you hit the land side, organize a tour of one of like the units or something like that. They usually have little gifts and stuff, I think, for taking the tour with DVC. So you might as well go and at least give it a look.
I love a 7-day cruise, but I do think if it's your very first time you're hesitant, do a 4 is good.
4-day. 4 is-
or a 5 if you can. And we love Port Canaveral because you're
Those are
close
kind
to
of
Disney.
few and far between, but
go
yeah.
to Disney the first night and then go to Disney when you get off the ship. And if you can. You know.
Well, it's also the great thing about being on a Disney cruise and knowing you still have the land side afterwards. But sometimes it's great to do the land side. You're a little tired from it, but you got these days at sea and you can relax by the pool and everything. You don't have to run from park to park.
Yeah.
So that's actually more relaxing. I prefer it probably at the end of the trip versus the beginning of a trip.
Our dad has always said that he thought that he loved the idea of doing land first because then after you're walking around, you get to relax on the ship for the next week. And I'm the reverse because I feel like if
I
you
just said that.
I know, but I'm clarifying. I said, but I have said to him, I prefer the reverse because I think if I pig out on the cruise, then I want to be able to walk it off in Disney World. That's why I like the reverse. But I also like the perfect
I'm
scenario,
going
which
to
is
pig
before
out-
and after.
I'm going to pig out on both of them, so it really doesn't
Right.
matter. I'm just going to be more tired.
I like the idea of getting a couple days before the cruise because it is very depressing to me to get off the ship and go straight to the airport. So I need that time at least when I get off the ship.
Well, let's think about this. All right. So we've covered everything from the Disney cruise. We've done everything
far
we're
as we
supposed to
know.
do there. I feel like I don't think we missed much on there. I think we kind of covered things we wanted to. Obviously, we'll probably have things down the line, guys. We'll update some stuff as new features come
New
available.
things,
on
new
different
ships,
cruises.
everything we can.
All that
revisit
stuff. But we really wanted to give you some kind of glimpse of what we thought about it. I know it's not the informative, here's your textbook explanation to
But
every
you shouldn't
place
expect
on
that
there.
from us anyway.
Go and try the stuff. I highly recommend doing the aqueduct and doing the aqua mouse and all these
Paolo
things.
brunch,
The upgrade things that you
the
can
rainforest.
do. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. The rainforest, if you get a chance to do it, go, and there's thermal suite basically on Disney Wish especially. Do it. Pay the money. Get the week pass. Do it, especially your husband, wife, husband and husband, wife and wife, the husband, wife, whatever it is. Brother, sister. I don't care who you take there.
Yeah.
Whoever you're traveling with, that's I would say the older group, not the younger. They're not going to be in the rainforest area, but go and experience it. And it's a great way to start off your day, especially if you went out, you had a little nightlife action and stuff. You can sweat out some stuff. They've got a cold room, steam room, dry sauna. They've got hot tubs out back. You can actually sit out there. It's a nice congregating area. Definitely do it, especially on the Wish. I'd highly 10 out of 10 on that one. So let's go into our shout outs. Nailed it. Shout outs. My goodness, I'm getting good at this. Gina, who are we shouting out this week?
We have a couple this week. First and foremost, I want to give a big...
We have a couple.
Yes. That wasn't the one I was going to do first, though. The first one I was going to say is Austin from The Magic of Mayhem.
Oh, absolutely.
If you guys haven't seen it yet, our very first collab ever that we did, he had us as a guest on his show. The Magic of Mayhem is the Magical Friends of Mayhem, a new kind of offshoot.
Fascinating guy to begin with.
Yeah,
He's just
look
incredible.
up his story, but follow him. We'll tag it below. But
He's
great guy.
He's our unofficial blood brother right now.
Yes, he's now our new brother. But we had the best time on there. So much fun. Watch the episode and give him a follow and check him out because you're a passionate Disney fan. You're absolutely going to love him. And we do love him not just as a podcaster, but also as a newfound friend and other brother, as we call him.
So I said that's your friends in the Disney community.
Yes. Another shout out we want to give is to some friends of ours we've made through socials and have been great supporters of ours, and we really do appreciate it. And that's Todd and Gina, fellow Gina. And Todd is living with Todd today, and Gina is living behind the magic. Yes.
Yes.
And they've just been awesome fans of ours, put the word out, whether it's commenting on our stuff or reposting things.
And just really good people with good content, too. And I know Gina loves the cake bake shop, so that's why I said. She also may make me a believer because she posted something about banana pudding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got a soft spot for banana. I always get it from Buc-ee's when I'm driving down,
Yeah, but
too,
they live in Disney. They live behind the magic, obviously, with their location.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of different content on their channels, and definitely give them a look. But we want to say thank you for the support.
Yeah.
And then I want to give a shout out to Mainly at Disney, her name is Jess. And that, I got to say, Jess is always supporting everybody, is always reposting things, commenting on everything, doing follower events. And we really do appreciate, she's another one that's been there since day one. And so we want to give a shout out.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jess, for all your support.
Yeah, see, I love all these people we mention and do these shout outs to. People that honestly are just mean the world to us. Because Gina and I say this all the time. We didn't expect anybody to ever watch this.
We're still not
or
sure
to
why
ever
they do.
want to watch it or to like it. So we're just two goofy people. No pun intended being Disney podcast, but we talked about this earlier. We're excited and we look forward to doing this. We don't get nervous to go and film. We don't know what we're going to say before we get in here. Like, if you could see what the mess that this place is, because I'm like, what are we talking about? Oh, okay, here. I'm going to write this down. I'm like, I'll make a joke about something. I'm like, I'm going to remember that.
Gilligan, Elton John.
I would have remembered that one. I was like, that's some good stuff.
I also do feel like we said this on Josh and I can't keep track of what we say anywhere because again, we're brother and sister.
That's right, little buddy.
We talk all the time. So I'm like, did I say this on the podcast? Did I not? Did I say it on this? I think we said it on Austin's podcast, but I want to make sure I say it here. I don't think I said it in last week's episode of our show, is that we want to give a shout out again. You hear us talk about them all the time, but Rob and Teresa, because they have since changed their name on socials.
More magic, please.
To More Magic, please. And we want to make sure that everybody knows that because in our previous episodes, we used their other name, which was more Disney.
And if you watch our stories, though, we've got a great back and forth with them. Okay, especially because Rob handles their Instagram stuff.
And Teresa's awesome on TikTok. Make sure you're following them on both. She's fantastic.
TikTok dynamo.
Yeah.
So we're just like, and I can't get a handle on anything. I'm like, I could do this stuff, and I'm like, Gina, how do you do this? And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how to put things together, and I'm like, how do you put one of these things on here? Gina's like, does all this stuff. But it's hilarious to go back and forth because I know when I'm seeing a story, Rob's going to respond to something that Gina had put up, and it's back and forth. And then I try to put things on my story on there because mine's just simple. If anybody actually wants to follow me, I'm on all these different things anyway, but it's just at Josh Jeppy. So like if you follow it, you can. You're not going to see the same thing. You're not going to see the same things, but I'm like, that's mine. So if you're a Disney person, especially if you have a Disney page, like those are people I follow back. Because that's what I want to see. I don't necessarily want to see everybody's private drama. So if you're somebody's like, oh, I like watching the show, but here's all my dirty laundry. Nah, it's probably not going to be for me. Yeah. Just because the fact I try to keep my feed just Disney now because it makes me happy.
I do want to remind everybody, speaking of social media, to give us a follow at BBT Magic Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
No, the notification
bell so you don't miss a minute of the magic. Give us a follow on Spotify. We're excited to see the number of followers growing there. Again, I cannot stress enough how much I love all your comments. So comment, whatever it is that you're following us on.
And this being the 20th episode.
Whee! And also I want to remind everybody, because this is going to air Thursday the 24th. Our giveaway that we're doing for when we hit 2,000 followers on Instagram, we still have going. That ends on the 25th. So if you're watching this video the day it comes out, you still have time. Make sure you check that out on our Instagram and follow the rules to make you qualify. And then we're going to announce the winners on the 27th. So that is a limited edition Dooney and Burke Moana Magic Band. That is 2 of the challenge coins you hear us talk about all the time. And then a vintage Walt Disney World spinner button.
That one still has MGM Studios on it and River Country.
Yeah.
Just be like, so give that to somebody now.
So
like,
we
where's
talk
this
about
River Country?
Josh designed this entire giveaway. It's awesome, but it's really the theme of magic. A magic band, these coins that are all about bringing the Disney magic, and then this button that's all about, bringing back the magic because it's very retro. So good job, Josh.
Oh, thank you. And again, that magic band hasn't been activated. So everybody's be like, this has already been used.
No,
it's non-activated.
And limited edition. The Dooney and Burke slider.
Yeah, it's a Moana theme. Yeah, so people love that kind of stuff. Who wouldn't? Like, we're at Epcot, going to Journey into Water.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. We had a blast. I know it's been a glorious 3-hour tour.
Shout out to Malcolm Jamal Warner.
And shout out, rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal Warner. That just happened recently. So, way to end on a sad note.
Sorry, you told me you wanted to save this episode and I had to squeeze it in.
We could have just forgot. Now you made me sad. Anyway, Theo, rest in peace, Gordon Gartrell. We love you. But thank you for joining us, guys. It's been a pleasure. We hope you enjoyed the Disney magic on this. And, as we go out, we got some island music here. But thank you so much for joining us. And please watch your head and step as you exit the podcast. And we'll see you next time.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.